What's up, guys? This is House Cat MMA. I got a house cat right here. Today I'm going to be going over what happened at UFC 322. And also, if you were to give this video a quick like and a quick subscribe, that'd be pretty cool. First fight of the night was Vyacheslav Borshev versus Matthias Camilo. Camilo won by unanimous decision. He took down Borshev whenever he felt like it. Borshev wanted to get something popping at various points of the fight. He just had a difficult time doing that. His takedown defense is suspect. He gets taken down a lot in his fights. I wonder what's going on with that. So Camilo won by unanimous decision. Next up, we got Baysanger Susurkev versus Eric McConaughey. Pretty good fight. Both guys got some offense in. McConaughey was able to get him with some flurries, but ultimately Susurkev was able to put him away in the third round by pretty spectacular knockout. I think he's going to do cool shit in the UFC. I don't know if he'll be the champion, but I bet in the next probably 2.5 years he'll end up somewhere in the top 5. Now we got Angela Hill versus Fatima Klein. Fatima Klein won by unanimous decision. She was able to stay just out the way of Hill's punches. She was able to get Hill down at some points of the fight. Just the bigger, younger, stronger gal. I'm interested to see what she does in the UFC. And as far as Hill goes, I mean, even though she's 40, I think she'll probably win her next fight. I don't know who she'll fight next, but she's still good. It's just Klein was better. Now we got Pat Sabatini versus Chepe Mariscal. I could not have been more wrong about this fight. I was very keen on Chepe going into this fight, but Sabatini was able to pretty much out-wrestle him. He was one step ahead the whole time. I thought Chepe was going to be stronger going in there, but no, Sabatini was, and he out-wrestled the piss out of Mariscal. Now we got Kyle Dawkins versus Gerald Meerschaert. This one broke my heart. Dawkins knocked him down, and then got him with a Bravo choke. I'm interested to see what happens with Kyle Dawkins. Maybe put him in there with Susurkev. That would be pretty cool. I don't know what's going to happen to Meerschaert. He might get cut. He might get one more fight. I'm not sure. But Dawkins, he's in the middle of a career resurgence. Now we got Malcolm Wellmaker versus Ethan Ewing. Now, I was also incorrect on this fight. I knew Ewing was good, but I didn't think he was that good. I mean, Wellmaker was able to get him with about 3 or 4 of his signature right hooks, but Ethan was just able to be one step ahead at all times. He was able to hit Wellmaker way more than Wellmaker hit him, but Wellmaker was able to tap him a couple of times. Ewing was also able to get a pretty good lat drop. It was pretty cool in the first round. Ewing is 27. He just did that to Wellmaker. Wellmaker's good. Wellmaker is going to do well in the UFC. I think he's going to learn a lot from this loss. I don't know if Ewing should go down to 135 because he is 5'6.5" as a featherweight, which back in the day was not short for a featherweight, but these days it is. I don't know what he walks around at, but he did not look small in there. He's a very interesting case. So now we got Aaron Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez kind of impressed me in this fight. She was able to win the first round by a narrow margin. I mean, not too narrow, but it wasn't a blowout in the first round, but Cortez definitely won it. And then she up and decided in the second round that she was going to want to take Blanchfield down. And I couldn't really see Blanchfield's face, but I could tell by the way she was moving that once it was down on the ground, she was like, oh, I'm not sure why you did that, but thank God. They scrambled back up on the feet, and then Blanchfield took Cortez down and was able to secure a rear naked choke win. And I could tell she was very happy about that, considering how Cortez beat her back over 6.5 years ago in 2019. Now we got Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Rodriguez. Kopylov is so deceptively strong. He looks like an athletic guy, but he looks more like a decathlete than he does a fighter, like a slightly above average muscular decathlete. But he was able to throw Rodriguez in there, but Rodriguez was just able to beat Kopylov to the punch. He's able to dictate the pace, and he's able to get the unanimous decision win. Good on Rodriguez. I want to see Rodriguez versus Joe Pyfer. And now we got Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira. Kind of sort of called this one, but I thought Nickel was going to win by unanimous decision, but instead he won by head kick knockout in the third round. He did whatever he wanted to against Vieira. When he wanted to take him down, he did. When he wanted to hit him on the feet, he did. When he wanted to kick him in the head, he did. Very interested to see what Nickel's going to do in the future. I don't mind seeing him versus Edmund Shabazian. I also wouldn't mind. I'm actually more curious about Nickel versus Pyfer than I am Rodriguez versus Pyfer, or maybe Nickel versus Rodriguez. Any of those would be good fights. But yeah, Bo Nickel, good fighter. Had a tough out against Reiner de Ridder, but I think he's going to put together about 4 straight wins, at least. Now we got Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint Denis. Benoit Saint Denis went in there and, as they say, chose violence. Dariush got him with a nice little leg kick in the beginning of the fight, but Denis said, all right, fuck you, and sat him down. What's next for him? That's very interesting. Benoit Saint Denis versus Gaethje is a very compelling bout. I was thinking Dariush versus Gaethje, but now that Saint Denis beat Dariush, Saint Denis versus Gaethje is actually the better fight. So now we got Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. I like the way Edwards looked in there. He just got caught. He was able to get Prates back at one point, and it was close with a slight edge to Prates on the feet until Edwards got knocked out. But now I think what ought to happen is Prates versus Morales. That would be pretty tight. I don't think that will happen, but that would be pretty tight. Now we got Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. I couldn't have been more wrong about that fight. I thought Brady was going to be able to go in there and grapple fuck him. He could have, but he got knocked out before he was able to try to do that. TKO. Morales is a problem, and so is Prates. I think Morales is a slightly bigger problem. Morales is a giant welterweight. He probably gets around 207 in between fights. Like before he gets called up for a fight and has to do a training camp, I bet he's waking up at about 207. He's a big guy. Now we got Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili. At first, I thought Shevchenko was going to win, and then I was like, no, Zhang Weili is going to win, but I should have went with my initial gut feeling. Shevchenko won exactly how I thought she was going to win, and the size advantage was ultra prevalent. It was just, you could tell like Weili was like I keep on saying, trying to get something popping. But Shevchenko's like, well, not before I take you down, you're not. And that was just, they would get to dicking around on the feet, and then Shevchenko would be like, all right, I'm going to take you down. It was actually pretty cool because in the first round, they were kind of getting after it, and Wei Li came at her, and Shevchenko got her with a fucking straight up Karate Kid knee, kind of like when Johnny and Daniel LaRusso are fighting on the beach, and old Johnny Boy, fuck, yeah. And Ralph Macchio's like, oh, fuck me. But Valentina Shevchenko keeps on winning fights. I'm interested to see how long she keeps it up. Now we got Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev is a freak of nature. He's better than Khabib, I think. I think he's way better than Khabib. Better on the feet. I think I think he might be a better takedown artist. Islam's kind of Khabib 2.0. Better physique than Khabib. Not that that matters, but he just does. The JDM versus Makhachev fight and Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Wei Li fight were very similar. Just dicking around on the feet until one decided to take the other down. But with the Shevchenko Wei Li fight, there was more dicking around on the feet. But Islam is the only fighter to go up a weight class and muscle the guy in the higher weight class around, which is not that surprising because I do think Islam was remarkably big for 155. But now we definitely got to do, because Sean Brady losing is actually pretty good. That makes there be less of a traffic jam for who's next for a title shot, because now the obvious fight is Islam versus Rakhmonov. And if Islam can mess around Rakhmonov, I might deem him the pound for pound GOAT, like of all time. Of all time. If he can muscle around Rakhmonov, I don't think you can make much of an argument for him not being the GOAT. If he can do that, he's not the GOAT yet. But, I mean, because right now the GOAT list is John Jones, GSP, Mighty Mouse. That's top 3. But we might have to go, if he muscles around Rakhmonov, we might have to go Makhachev, John Jones, GSP, Mighty Mouse, Anderson the Spider Silva. But that's all I have on that. I'll catch y'all later. This is Housecat MMA, and like I was saying about 13 minutes ago, you really ought to like and subscribe upon watching this video. It would just tickle me shitless. I mean,